conference rival, the Miami Heat, are ready for this thing to get started. It's the NBA, and it's live right here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. So the opening lineup for the Heat, the big men are Bosh and Whiteside. Wade and Dang are the 2 and 3, and it's Dragic in the point guard.
Well, I think it's been said about 1,000 times now how Coach Spoelstra started as a video coordinator with the Heat, but he's been with the organization for so long, they are starting to become synonymous.
The drive by Wade, and the foul on Dwayne Wade. That's his first foul.
Well, that was a quick foul for him there. The refs are certainly calling it close.
Here's Dragic. Bosh, high post. Stolen by Wade.
Well, if you really want to make things hard on yourself, that's exactly how to do it. Turnovers on back-to-back trips down the floor.
They're not doing themselves any favors at this point. They've got to stabilize their offense with just sound execution. And can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
And the foul on Dwayne Wade. That's foul number 2 for him. Now here's Wade. Bosh grabs the miss.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for him.
And he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Excellent, excellent transition passing there, guys. Straight to the hoop.
Dragic kicks to Wade. Bosh, the screen. To the middle. Here's Dragic. The basket good off the assist from Wade.
Right there, we saw Bosh opened up space for the shooter. Well done.
And one of Goran Dragic's greatest traits, Greg, excelling in the open court. High energy point guard, a lot like you, speed to burn, very smart guy, coveted by many.
He really is. And Kevin, he transitions from defense to offense as quickly as anyone in the league, a la Tony Parker, except he's also equally adept at facilitating for others and spotting up for the 3 or just taking it to the rack himself.
And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
And I like the fact that the defense is looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Definitely saved the layup with that foul, and he'll make him earn them from the line, and that's what you want to see. And, you know, back to Goran Dragic, many of his transition opportunities start with his aggressive defense. Very active with his hands, has the instincts to jump passing lanes, the long arms to pick off passes. Suddenly, when he gets a steal, he's off and running.
Feeds to Bosh. And it's blocked by Whiteside. The Heat have gone 4 of 7 from the field, shooting over 50%. Dang. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for Miami.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
And the Heat making a change here. Winslow's checked in. And Miami with a change here, too. Green, he's checked in for Dwayne Wade.
And talking about Goran Dragic, the one thing he has to be careful with is being over-aggressive on deep. Reaching for steals makes you susceptible to blow-bys and escape dribbles, and that can lead to uncontested layups and dunks for your opponent.
And, of course, Chris Bosh has been such a prolific scorer and rebounder in his career. He's not quite in the 2010 category for his career. Boy, Greg, he's close.
Yeah, I mean, good athleticism, that big wingspan, and not an overly physical player, but very instinctive on the backboard. And when it comes to scoring, particularly from that mid-range area, he can do it all.
Wade, he's checked in for the Heat. 1:46 left to play in the first quarter. And the wide open shot from Green. Drills the three-pointer. Green's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
On the topic of Chris Bosh, I mean, guys, he was a 24-11 player his last season with Toronto. Went on to Miami to win rings where his stats dipped a bit with LeBron there. Then last season, the scoring average right back up to 21 a game. They've worked hard and created great chances for themselves in this opening quarter.
And if they match that effort at the defensive end, watch out.
Winslow dishes to Dragic with the runner, and he gets it to go. 6 points for Chris Bosh.
Talking about Chris Bosh, he was really ahead of his time when he first entered the league. I mean, very few power forwards back then had his combination of size, agility, and skill set. Now we're seeing a ton of fours like that on draft night.
And for Gerald Green, another productive year last season coming off the bench. Though it was a smaller role, a small step back from the season before when he started over half the games for the Suns.
Well, there was a log jam in Phoenix at the wing position last season. He certainly matured, though, as he never complained about not starting, just went out and did his job.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam, you're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further. Shots are just flowing for him right now, having a really strong quarter.
It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. The Heat leading by 4. Wade, right side. Tries again. Nice D from Bosh. Dang. And the release was before. And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Heat out front, up by 4. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Heat?
I just really like what we're seeing from a defensive standpoint, forcing a lot of turnovers with those quick hands.
Yeah, those active hands, Greg, have produced a number of steals early. They've been very aggressive.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And for Miami, looking who they've got out there. Wade and Dang are the 2 and 3. The big men are Bosh and Whiteside. And it's Green in at the point guard.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Well, you look back at the 2015 Heat, and the injuries are what probably brought that team down. We can go from Chris Bosh with the debilitating blood clot on his lung and on and on and on. The loss, of course, which was not an injury, of LeBron James. There are a lot of moving parts with that team.
And that's a great point, Kevin. If you take any star off of teams, things are going to get difficult. It was impressive that the Heat still managed to stay competitive once Bosh went out. Nice job getting inside for the layup. Got the D thinking, jump shot, gave a little pump fake, and then off to the races.
Wade outside. Bosh with it. He's picked up by Whiteside. Wade a screen on Green. 6 on the shot clock. Lets it go from 14. Another shot. Wade with no one around. Releases from the wing and drills it. Wade's got 4 points in the quarter.
You You know, Bosch was the big injury hit for the Heat, but they had a lot of other injuries as well. I mean, had to use 31 different starting lineups last season, and 20 different players started at least one game.
Bosch, no one around him. Off target from outside. And Wade slams it in.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And guys, mark that play right there, because that could be the one that leads to a surge to break this thing wide open. And injuries are something that you can't plan for, but you can prepare for them. And hopefully the Heat can avoid injury woes this season. If they can, they at least have players who have been through that struggle last year.
And for those of you just joining us, we're in the second quarter with about 3 minutes gone by. And he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. Wade's got the lead up to 2 now for Miami.
After going scoreless in the first, he's really found a way to turn it on here in the second quarter.
And guys, Gerald Green looked to be out of the NBA at one point in his career, but since coming back from Russia, he has completely re-embedded himself as a player.
And the Heat call time here. And for Gerald Green, and him reinventing himself, really was just known as a dunker before heading overseas.
You know, Kevin, he came back with a better shot and a better understanding of how to win as a player. Strange to think that there was a time that he couldn't find a way onto an NBA roster.
All right, well, look at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for the Heat.
You know what, guys? It looks to me like they're really in sync here, all on the same page. They've already got a bunch of assists.
Yeah, the other thing, though, is they have attacked in the open floor. They're definitely getting a lot of easy ones that way.
Wade gets the bucket.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
But they'll get another chance. Good for another bucket. He's made half a dozen now, 6 for 8 on the night.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
Double team on Bosch. The drive by Green. Just 5 to shoot. And it's blocked by Whiteside. And it's the Heat on the break. Bosch leading the charge. And the foul on Dwayne Wade. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Green kicks to Bosch. Well, a scary moment for Chris Bosch last year. Had to be shut down, Greg, as we all know, for the season after a blood clot was found in his lung.
You know, and Kevin, it really puts basketball in perspective. I mean, it happened right after the trade deadline, and obviously a huge blow to the Heat in terms of their push for the postseason. But fortunately, it looks like he's going to make a full recovery and have a huge impact this season.
Green, no luck. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break.
Man, it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
And Wade drops them both. For Miami, they've gone 7 of 13 from the field since the start of the second. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Fires, high post. No good from Bosch.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Well, they've really cranked up the intensity, tracking down those loose caroms, stacking up second chance buckets in a big pile.
Yeah, and those hustle points are just another reason they're in control.
Fires the 3. They kick it out to Green. From deep three-point range. And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. Heat lead by 4. And